Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, April 21st, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Deputy Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB, Trevor Brathwaite, says the phasing out of 1 and 2 cent coins will commence as scheduled on July 1st, 2015. Speaking with the media from Anguilla to Antigua, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines through a live video conference, Brathwaite says there will be a 5-year period in which the coins will be able to be tendered through commercial banks, and persons must do their best to take in the coins to the financial institutions. He advised members of the media to do their part in helping to educate the public on the phasing out process, which he says will also be done through an intense media awareness campaign. The Deputy Governor says the ECCB has produced some 536 million 1 cent coins and 224 million 2 cents since 1983, and hopes that persons will do their best to hand over the coins, which will be of no value within 5 years. He explains that the 1 cent coin costs 6 cents to produce, while the 2 cent costs 8 cents, which he says is quite expensive. He noted that a study by the Royal Canadian Mint shows that after the phase-out process is completed, the ECCB will be saving some $150 million.
As Bob indicated, that in Barbados, our observations, discussions with our colleagues at the central bank, it was recognized that there was a teething period went through, and then things settled down. So we anticipate that the same thing will occur in our countries. I always like to say to folks, Barbados is one country, but what the central bank does is that the regulation supervises 8 countries. So multiply the challenges that we have by 8, and then you see what we anticipate. Right? But we would expect that over time things will settle down.
Meanwhile, Deputy Director of Support Services Pamela Osborne appealed to the various businesses to adhere to what they refer to as the roundup system. Osborne says the mode of calculation does not refer to every single item purchased, but the overall cost plus VAT rounded off to the nearest 5-cent figure.
Cash transactions should be rounded to the nearest 5-cent increment to facilitate giving of cash or change to customers. Payment with exact change will not be rounded. There will be no need to round, because if someone comes into a business and they have the exact change for purchasing a specific item, there will be no need to round. Round doesn't come in because you don't have to give back any change. So you accept the exact change of the item if an individual will pay you using your 1 and 2 cent coins.
A non-profit Canadian organization earlier today handed over a check valued at $38,078 Canadian to the Lions Club St. Vincent South to construct a home for a family affected by the floods of December 2013. Speaking at the handing over ceremony, chairperson of the event and director of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, Howie Prince, says that it is a pleasure to know that one more person affected by the floods will be able to live in comfort in their own home. Describing the Christmas Eve floods as horrifying, Prince says the government is still working diligently to cater to all the affected persons.
It's a singular honor that has been afforded me this morning to chair this session, where today we will be handing over a check to ensure that one family that is still outstanding, is still awaiting housing as a result of the floods of 2013 would be given that special present and will be afforded the opportunity to finally be placed in a house of their own. On December 2013, we all relive with horror in some cases the events which unfold, which resulted in the loss of life of 12 of our very dear citizens, displacement of many thousands of Vincentians, and a situation where 18% of our GDP went overnight with one flood.
President of the Lions Club St. Vincent South, Michael John, assured everyone present at the ceremony that his group is capable of supervising the construction of the two-bedroom dwelling house, which is expected to be completed by August this year. He further emphasized the club's dedication to assisting the public in times of need.
A project like this is not something new for us. We've been managing several projects from donors over the past years. Last year, we handed out over $20,000 to a farmers project, and those were money that were received from charitable organizations. So, Mr. Huggins, you rest assured that we will be good supervisors of this project.
And the recipient of the house, Florestine Spring, expressed her gratitude for being selected to get the new home.
I must say I'm very thankful to Mr. Huggins, Mr. Prince, and the ministry. I'm very proud of what you have done, Mr. John, about everything.
President of the Lions Club St. Vincent South, Michael John, says that having met Spring while assisting in the recovery effort in 2013, he is pleased to say that a well-deserved individual has been selected and that he is pleased to be involved with the project.
We were heavily involved after the December floods. I show everybody here is aware. We had containers stored at Arnesville in Mr. Bacchus' building, and we distributed foodstuff and other items throughout the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We visited Mrs. Spring, so she is no stranger to us. Okay. And I'm so pleased that she is the one that being rewarded with this project. After we got the list of names from NEMO, we went to visit the different families so that we can come up with the recommendation. There are 2 contracts to be signed, and we're hoping that we'll have those contracts signed and we'll have all the preliminary works out of the way so that we can have this project up and going and completed within the 3 months.
And Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Land, Dr. Audrey Gittins, says that the government has had a hand in this project as well by donating the land for the construction, adding that the assistance of the government has been extensive in terms of aiding flood victims.
Not only rehabilitation of the homes which were destroyed in the various disasters, but rehabilitation also of infrastructure. We have constructed and handed over homes at Noel in Sandy Bay, some at Hope already, Fancy Hill, all over St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have also assisted with reconstruction of homes for persons who are damaged in the disaster, but who are not living in the identified disaster areas, but they were affected nonetheless. They lost roofs and agricultural produce, animals. So the assistance of the government has been extensive in the recovery process.
Gittins further stated that there is still more work to be done for the flood victims, which is why the government will be handing over homes in the coming weeks, as well as allocating lands for more home construction.
Within the next coming weeks, we'll be handing over some homes at Hope, more homes at Hope. On Friday, 24th, we'll be handing over homes and doing the allocation of lands at Connery. On Thursday, there'll be the allocation of lands at Carapan, and on the 27th, next Monday, we'll also be having the handing over of houses at Carapan. There's ongoing There's ongoing construction and repairs in all these areas mentioned.
The opposition New Democratic Party is condemning what it terms as the government's attempt to politicize the generosity of Digicel in its contribution of equipment to surviving students of the rock gutter tragedy of January 12, 2015. In a media release, the party says while it endorses the efforts by Digicel to assist the people of Fancy, it condemns the attempts by the government to bring the company into the partisan political fray by holding a program dominated by government speakers. At today's handing over ceremony in Fancy, where tablets and cellular phones were handed over to the surviving students, remarks were made by Area Representative Montgomery Daniel, a representative of Digicel, and Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. The family of 4-year-old Michaela Abbott, who died at the Georgetown Hospital yesterday afternoon following a vehicular accident, is trying to come to terms with her death. The 4-year-old kindergarten student of Byra was heading to the hospital in Georgetown for nebulizing treatment when the accident occurred. According to her older sister, Mia Quashi, her mother, Carol Abbott, took the day off from work to take Michaela to the hospital, and on her way there made a quick stop to her preschool in Georgetown to pay a fee for an upcoming school trip. She recounts that her mother entered the minibus involved in the accident and sat down, awaiting the conductor who was outside the van to hand over her daughter. It was during such time the driver reportedly sped off, unaware that the child was not in her mother's arms. The little girl was reportedly hit in the head by the slamming door and dropped in the process. Described as a very talkative preschooler who loved to sing and pray, friends, family and teachers at the Glad Tidings Preschool spoke highly of Michaela, who would have celebrated her 5th birthday next month.
A high-spirit person always make you smile and stuff like that. And she will always come make you happier first thing in the morning. That's how she is. Always make you smile. Always saying something nice, asking this how you doing and stuff like that. This, to be honest, it keep my heartbeat a bit. And to hear that she died.
Because dark, you know, think about that. She will walk dark all day without anything to eat and drink some cold water or something. When she like, we call for you to be go. But she go dark. Don't think about that. She could pray all the things and tell me. Every little child here, around here, I love her. Big people, I love her. Good size people, I love her. I love even Michaela.
Clinical psychologist in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Antia Watson-Adams, is pleading with the media to be more sensitive when reporting news associated with suicide. Watson-Adams says media houses are to refrain from over-embellishing the news for sale and popularity.
Not be sensationalized. It's not like a hot story. It's not like a piece of hot cake that you need to distribute around the society. In fact, it should be handled very, very carefully, because when a suicide is committed, there is always the issue of contagion, and contagion means that individuals, especially young people, will copy the act. They will see it as a way to solve their problems, a way of dealing with life's difficult issues, and suicide and harming self is never an option. And so when a suicide occurs, it is important for parents, teachers and other responsible adults to talk it through.
A group of experts from Venezuela is currently visiting health centers across SVG as part of the government's mission to promote and protect the well-being of citizens. The mission is conducting assessments and pre-selecting persons, in particular those affected by eye conditions related to ophthalmology such as cataract. The expert visit is a fulfillment of an agreement signed between the government of Venezuela and this country to implement a vision care program titled Miracle Vision, which would result in pre-selected persons traveling to Venezuela for medical eye care and surgery. The experts have so far done examinations at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, the Barley Health Center, and Beckway. The team will visit Union Island on Wednesday, Mesopotamia on Thursday, and Georgetown on Friday, and again at the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital on Saturday. 44 young people involved in a youth-assisted program at Marion House are continuing to learn skills which they could use to help them progress. The year-long program, which targets vulnerable youngsters throughout various communities, ensures that they improve on areas such as their social manners, work ethics, and coping skills. Volunteer Director of Marion House, Jeannie Oliver, says it is critical to occupy the energies of the youth by giving them guidance and skills for life.
Self-esteem, dealing with some social issues, looking at the issue of communication, how important it is, looking at what happens within groups, the dynamics within groups and so, and as well as we address some of their basic human rights as youths. So we go through agreements that our governments have signed, such as the CEDAW, the Bellendo Para, the Convention of the Rights of the Child with them and so on. When they come to Marion House, they must identify a skill that they would like to learn, because you do 6 months of youth empowerment of Marion House, and it's a full-time program from 9 to 3 each day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, every single day from 9 to 3. On Wednesdays, they go out within.
Oliver says it is up to the youngsters to identify an area they wish to gain further training in so that they can love what they do while earning a living.
So when they come to Marion House, they must identify a skill which they would like to learn at the end of the personal development program. So they go out to the entrepreneurs and they do 6 months of skills training. At the end of their skills training session, which is a 6 months, the employer usually keep them. We have an 80% employment rate. You see, that can only happen because at the community level, there is a mentor. Each of the youths must identify a mentor, somebody that they respect in the community and somebody who will guide them along their community service within the community.
Some of the youngsters involved in the program spoke with SVG-TV News about their experience thus far.
Communicating with others, and in a full-time program from Monday to Friday, Wednesdays, they go in the community and help out with the community service.
Learning many things, reasoning out to people, changing my attitude, and all them to helping out more often.
Allows me not to be that lazy, because if I was at home, I would have been home sleeping or doing on my phone or something, I think, and it enhances you to be more active and interact with other young ladies.
Like mechanic and thing. So I send in this message to all the youths up on top of the road. Please come Marion House. You will get something good in life.
It's wonderful. There are great teachers there who are teaching us all about what we are going out to do and how we are supposed to be as we go out.
How to talk to your boss when your boss tells you to do this and do that.
Well, so far we learn a lot about drugs and alcohol, a lot about sex, teenage pregnancy, the kind of stuff we're learning, and mostly about certain things you experience on the job site. Yeah.
And this is a pretty good program for youths. I mean, I was home on the street and nothing to do, so I decided to come and try it, see how it was, and it's actually pretty great. I'm learning a lot of new stuff on how to resolve conflict and thing, which is a huge thing for me because I get in conflict a lot. You're used to, so it's a good program so far.
The case of assault with intent to commit the offense of wounding against Douglas Knowles Joseph, a prominent journalist here, has been adjourned to May 4th, 2015. The matter came up for trial this morning before Acting Senior Magistrate Carla James. Court Prosecutor Elgin Richards made an application for an adjournment. He told the magistrate that the reason for his application is to give the opportunity to disclose the prosecution's statement to Dr. Linton Lewis, who is now representing Joseph. He also stated that the file has to be sent to the Director of Public Prosecution for further direction. Joseph's charge stemmed from a recent incident at the compound of the News newspaper between himself and Police Auxiliary Constable Ricardo Durant.